Why are we here today? Together with you on site in Zurich, but also together with you joining online from all around the world. Let me introduce to you Anna. This was Anna 2 years ago, before she received treatment with TRI dental implants by Dr. Joel Teles in Portugal. This is Anna today. And I'm very much sure that you agree that Anna hasn't changed her teeth, but she has changed her life. This is the reason why we are here today together. Our only right to exist as as industry professionals is to help you as dental professionals to treat more patients like Anna better. This is all we are going to talk about today. How we believe we can help you to achieve, for the benefit of your patients, higher quality results, more aesthetic results, and how to achieve these results in a simpler and faster way. It is so important to make implant dentistry simpler because there is dozens of millions of patients out there like Anna who cannot afford their treatment, so we have to simplify implant dentistry. TRI has proven in the last decade that we are able to develop products and innovation that help you as dental professionals to treat your patients better. We are very proud that after these 10 years, we can offer one of the simplest and most intelligent implant systems with a very strong focus on digitalization that is really the basis for our success in more than 55 countries worldwide. Today, we are not going to take the next evolutionary step to further develop our existing system. You will see today we are going to take a revolutionary step. We can all be very fortunate to work in the dental industry, especially when you're an engineer who is passionate about innovation and digitalization. The digitalization we have seen in the last 10 years is just amazing. We have so many technologies for data capturing, all the intraoral scanners, cone beam CT, new kind of facial scanners. We have amazing tool for digital planning of the prosthetics, of the surgery, and a lot of amazing system for computer-guided surgery. For the manufacturing, we have seen a tremendous progress in milling technology, but also 3D printing technology. And we have a lot of new kind of material for the full digital restorations. One thing that is very striking is that the dental implants have basically remained unchanged for the last 30 to 40 years. I remember very well the day when 14 years ago, as a young engineer, I started my career with one of the market leaders in implantology in Switzerland. On my very first day, I was explained what is an implant. It was very easy for me to understand. So basically, a titanium screw to replace a natural tooth root. Then they tried to explain to me what is an abutment. This was much more difficult for me to understand. Of course, today, after thinking about how to improve dental implant systems every single day, I perfectly understand why we need abutments for the old world. The old world means standard manual dental technician procedure. We need so many abutments because of the different angulations, different materials, different indication. But the world has changed. Today we have the new world. Anything that comes on top of the implant is totally different. It's milling and 3D printing technology. So that's why we really have this mismatch between the old world and the new world. I think what we all do is to actually connect this old world and the new world. We use abutments and titanium bases, but they offer a series of significant disadvantages. You still have limited design flexibility. You have aesthetic disadvantages because of the gray titanium that is sticking out of the implant. We have a risk of inflammation because we have to use cement that is very close to the bone. And implant prosthetics is not simple yet. It's still very expensive, very costly, because we have to use so many components and so much manual work. I hope that you agree that this kind of workflow is not the end goal of the digitalization of implant dentistry. Several years ago at TRI, we had the idea, let's develop the world's first dental implant for the new world. It has taken us more than 4 years, solving so many problems, overcoming so many challenges, but I truly think that we can say that the result exceeds all our expectations we had when we started this project. In the future, we will be able to work with no abutment, no cement, and you will not have any limitations. So we are so excited and proud and thankful to introduce today to the world's first dental implant for the new world that we are calling TRI Matrix. In the future, you can restore your implants directly from your local 3D printer or your milling machine without the use of any abutment. No cement and no limitation. Professor Ronald Jung even calls it the future of implant restorations, a new era of personalized dentistry. I'm very sure that you ask yourself, wow, that sounds nice, but how is this possible? We are very excited to present to you today the 6 world's first features that make it possible to work with no abutment, no cement, and no limit. This is the result of 4 years of research and development, and I'm very happy to play you a short video to introduce the 6 world's first features to you. The matrix solution is not a theoretical concept. It's a clinical reality. We have obtained, as the world's first company, regulatory approval to work in this new digital way last year in October. We have applied 8 global patents. And as you will see today, we have already treated more than 1,000 patients. But before we dive deeper into the matrix technology, let us think, how does this change your life as dental professionals? But even more important, how does this change the life of your patients? We believe that we can help you to achieve, for the benefit of your patients, higher quality results, more aesthetic results, and to achieve these results in a simpler and faster way. But let's start with aesthetics. We have roughly 8 billion people living on this planet, and everybody is unique. And each of us has 32 unique teeth. So this is the big problem with stock components. You can have thousands of abutments, but they will never fit perfectly. So with Matrix, you can fully personalize, fully customize anything that comes on top of the implant shoulder. This is an example to compare the new world, the Matrix, and the conventional world. It starts with tissue healing. We can have customized healing component, not just round, cylindrical titanium healing colors. You can copy this emergence profile, maybe modify it for your provisional restoration or also for your final restoration. One second big benefit for the aesthetics is that we can go with white zirconia all the way down to the gray titanium that's totally submerged into the bone. This is also huge aesthetic benefits because we do not have any gray titanium sticking out of the implant. It's just amazing to see how the user, they create beautiful, customized healing colors from zirconia, from PMMA, and I'm so much looking forward to the TRI talk today by Dr. Raman Gomez-Meda, who will tell us how Matrix helped him to revolutionize patient care in his clinical practice. So this is the aesthetics, fully personalized emergence profile, white zirconia directly to the implant, no gray titanium sticking out of the implant. Let's talk about the quality. With Matrix, we will for the first time work 100% digitally. That means we can eliminate a lot of steps in the treatment. So in the future, we do not 3D print a model. We do not have to put an analog into the 3D printer model. We don't have to put a tie base into the analog. And we don't have to cement a crown on top of the tie base. Every single step in the treatment process comes naturally with an inaccuracy. So let us look at the treatment process with the conventional titanium base. So we have impression taking, design, the milling, and then we have to 3D print the model, put the analog into the model, put the tie base into the analog, put the restoration cemented on top of the tie base. So we have a total inaccuracy of roughly 90 microns. With the Matrix, we can skip the model step. We can skip putting the analog into the model, skip the cementation step, and now we have an inaccuracy of only 25 microns. So this new workflow helps us to increase the precision by 73% from 90 to 25 microns. I'm looking forward greatly to the TRI talk this afternoon with the world-famous Anini brothers, who will talk more about how to treat patients in the old world and compare it to the treatment in the new world. Second big benefit to help you to reach a higher quality result. With Matrix, we do not use any cement. For me as an engineer, it's the biggest contradiction that in today's digital workflow, we have no way around from using cement. The Matrix is 100% screw retained. You can mill or 3D print the crown chair side or lab side and screw retain it directly to the implant. I'm very much looking forward to the TRI talk by Professor Thomas Linkevicius, who will tell us more about the benefits from not using cement in treating your patient. So this is the quality. You can achieve a higher precision because of the full digital workflow, and you don't have to use any cement. Let's talk about the simplicity. For a single crown, let's compare the old world and the new world. We don't use an abutment, but even more striking is a bridge on 2 implants. In the old world, we use 2 implants, 2 multi-unit abutments, fixated with 2 screws. Then we cement 2 titanium bases into the bridge that is fixed with another set of screws. With Matrix, we just have the implant and the bridge that is directly screw retained to the implants. As you know, it is the most difficult job for us as engineers to create a perfectly simple solution for you. So in order to make sure you can benefit from this amazing simplicity, we had to make sure that on top of the matrix implant, we have no limits. No limits in angulations, no limits in indications, and no limits in materials. 3 out of the 6 world's first technologies are built around this flexibility. So let me start with Matrix ProFlex. This is the technology that helps us that we do not have any limits in angulation. You can have bridges screw retained to the implant, and the implant can have a divergence of plus minus 50 degrees, so 100 degrees between 2 implants. If we angulate the implants in such extreme way, we also have to angulate the screw channel so it comes out of the right side. So we have a flexibility of plus minus 20 degrees for the angulation of the screw channel. So this technology ensures that we have no limitations in angulation. SmartLock is the technology that ensures that we have no limits in indication. We have so many abutments. We have engaging abutment, no engaging abutments, because we need different abutments for each indication. With the Matrix, it's just one click in your design software in 3Shape or ExoCAD. You can choose between an engaging interface, a non-engaging interface. So here we can see an engaging interface for a single crown with a self-locking system for automatic positioning, or just with one click in the software, not by having more components, you can design a bridge that goes on 2 implants or also on several implants. So this is the technology that makes sure we have no limits in indication. Matrix SmartBolt is a technology that ensures we have no limitations in material. This is also a reason why we have so many abutments, different abutments for different materials. So the SmartBolt technology is an intelligent set of screws combined with intelligent milling strategy to ensure that you can use all modern materials on top of Matrix. We can use metals, we can use PMMA for provisionals, and we can also use zirconia all the way directly to the Matrix implant. So this is so important. We have no limits in angulations, in indications, and also in material, and this is the reason why we were able to create such an incredibly simple system. This will help you to save a lot of time and material when treating your patient. This is a calculation for a fully edentulous patient like Anna. We can save 39% in material and 26% in time. We are very fortunate as TRI to work together with Europe's most modern dental clinic. We have tested the Matrix with this clinic, and it's amazing to see how they could simplify the digital workflow because they have all the technology they need, the most modern technology in this amazing building. So I'm very much looking forward to the TRI talk this afternoon by Dr. Ivan Peev, the lead surgeon of this clinic, who will show us how they were able to simplify their treatments for their patients and therefore make implant treatment more affordable to a lot of patients like Anna to change their lives. This is the simplicity. No limitations in angulations, indications, and materials. This simplicity will make the treatment much more efficient. Let's talk about the immediacy aspect. We all know the world is getting very busy. The patient doesn't want to see the dentist 5 times. Ideally, the patient wants to see the dentist, get the implant, and at least the provisional restoration. The big benefit of Matrix is that it allows for local chair and lab site manufacturing. This is a sneak preview into a clinical case that will be presented this afternoon. We placed here at the University of Zurich with Professor Ronald Jung a Matrix implant at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The implant, it was a straightforward case, was placed in 30 minutes. So we did an intraoral scan and we could design and mill a provisional PMMA crown in 40 minutes. So this is just 90 minutes after the implant was placed. The patient could go home with a perfectly fitting provisional restoration. So I'm very much looking forward to the TRI talk this afternoon by Professor Ronald Jung, who will give us much more insights and details of the new approaches in prosthetics we have with the matrix. I was asking the question, how does this change your life? How does this change your patient's life? And we hope that you see the benefits, that you agree that this solution will help you in the future to provide higher quality treatment, more aesthetic treatment, and also faster and simpler treatment to your patients. I'm very sure that a lot of you still think, wow, this is amazing, but does this really work? So let's dive a bit deeper into the matrix technology. When we started this project, we had several key challenges. One of the key challenges was, can we achieve this perfect precision that we need for the connection between implant and crown with a lab or chairside 3D printer or milling machine? For this, we have developed the matrix milling feed technology. This was really a process over the last 4 years. To me, this technology, this is the magic of matrix, why in the future we will be able to work with no abutment. And I'm very happy to invite to the stage Rafael Perez, the R&D manager for matrix, who has contributed so much to the development of this amazing technology.
Thank you, Sandro. We all know CAM technologies have led big developments in the dental industry. Chair and left-side machines provide extremely high accuracy. However, not all the implants connections can be perfectly milled. There are some restrictions. For example, inner corners, sharp edges, complex shapes. When we started the Matrix project, one of our goals was to eliminate these restrictions. That's the reason why the Matrix connection looks so unique. There is not hexagons, octagons, any complex shape. It's a revolution. But to understand better how this connection works, let's take a look at the crown connection. There is only one position. This connection can be milled in a precise and also forgivable way. This connection respects very well the mechanical properties of the materials, but also takes into consideration all the benefits the chair and the lap-side machines offer. We can achieve great surface roughness, which means we eliminate the wear between crown and implant, but also we can eliminate the micro movements and micro gaps. And one important aspect, this connection can be perfectly milled using standard tools like flat drills or round drills. We were not only focused on the design of the matrix connection, we were also focused on how to get perfectly milled the matrix. So, in cooperation with the most important partners in the dental industry, but also in the CAM technology, we developed precise and customized milling strategies. Now, for example, it's possible to mill the matrix connection based on a high-resolution file, instead of using an STL file. Now, concepts as high precision, great surface roughness, or reproducibility of results can be perfectly achieved, resulting in an outstanding mechanical performance of the matrix connection. We, as developers, our priority is to develop the simplest solution to you. So all these milling strategies were carefully developed by us and now are available to you. That means these milling strategies are ready to be installed into your system. What you need to do is just plug and play. Let's take a look on some examples how this milling strategy works. This is a comparison between our 3D tile abutment and the matrix connection. The results are just amazing. 0.2 surface roughness, perfect precision. We can achieve the same results as we achieve in our Swiss factory. That's just amazing. This is also a great example that shows that you, with your lab and with your site machine, can achieve the best results. I say for the matrix connection, you need just standard tools, like flat drills and round drills. But we have only one exception, and this for all the indications, an angle screw channel is required. For this indication, we have the best solution. That's the dynamic milling tool. As you see, the straight channel is impossible to mill from the occlusal side. Now, with this solution, it's possible to mill the screw seat and the screw channel from the cavity side. It's just amazing. It's the perfect solution for all the indications an angle screw channel is needed. We are very happy to have already many certified labs and milling centers around the world. Now is your chance to join the Matrix experience. In this free program, you're going to receive all the necessary training. And once you are certified, you will be able to mill the Matrix connection and take advantage of all the benefits the Matrix has to offer. So please join us. Would you like to know more about the milling fit at the Matrix? So please don't miss this great tutorial talk with João Fernandes from Portugal. He's going to tell us more and further details about the milling fit and the Matrix. So please don't miss it. So we are very proud and very excited to show you all the benefits the milling fit and the Matrix has to offer. So please check the following video out. So thank you. Back to you, Sandro.
Thank you, Raphael. This was our first key challenge when we started this project. Can we achieve the perfect precision with your local lab side or chair side milling machine? Our second key challenge was, can we put zirconia directly on titanium? We have seen we don't have any limits in materials, but without zirconia, this concept will not be as powerful as it is. So for this, we have developed the matrix power-based technology that allows us to put zirconia directly on titanium. This was a challenge for us because we all know the mechanical properties of zirconia. There is some good property. Zirconia has a very high stiffness. It is very good for compressive forces. And of course, you as dental professionals, you love it because of the aesthetics and the biocompatibility. For us, zirconia offers some challenges. It has a long tensile strength and it is very sensitive to the presence of microcracks. The matrix connection is the world's first titanium implant connection that has been specifically developed to support zirconia on titanium. The power-based technology ensures with a 20-degree horizontal surface that the forces are transmitted perfectly between the implant and the crown. In the crown, we just have compressive forces. We do not have any tensile forces that are very dangerous for the zirconia. We can see it here. So in green, just compressive forces. Inside of the crown, tensile stress is all taken by the intelligent SmartWool screw portfolio. Also, the thin internal aspect that goes into the implant is for the handling and the positioning, but there is no mechanical loading on this internal aspect. And of course, we have tested it. We have performed a tremendous amount of dynamic and static fatigue testing according to ISO 14801. We have simulated this connection with approximately 1 billion biting cycle with all kinds of different materials, different indications. We have validated all the workflows with all the leading software providers, and we have performed 2 independent studies with the University of Munich and the University of Zurich to also test the mechanical stability of this connection. Our goal was always to reach the same stability as with titanium-titanium connections. So we were very surprised to see these results from the Munich study that was performed in the department of Professor Daniel Edelhoff. So we can see that the matrix crowns were even stronger than titanium abutment before the aging processes. No more details here. I'm very much looking forward to the TRI talk this afternoon by Dr. Sonja Südbeck, who will explain us everything about this study, how at the University of Munich they investigated the mechanical stability of matrix. Last feature I would like to present to you today is matrix slim neck. Slim neck describes the design of the matrix tissue level implant. So why do we offer a tissue level implant next to the bone level implant? We at TRI, we love tissue level implants. We have introduced the world's first pink tissue level implant 7 years ago because we know for the longevity, for the biology, for the simplicity of restoration, the tissue level implants are just great. So this pink anodization already helps us to compensate for some of the aesthetic compromises we have with tissue level implant. But still, it's not the perfect solution for aesthetic treatment yet. We still have this wide emergence profile and we still have the tie base and abutment that comes on top of it and covers the implant shoulder. This is how the matrix tissue level implant looks like. Of course, we have added our pink anodization technology that has really been appreciated very much by doctors all around the world in the last 7 years, but the design is totally reworked. So we have a concave emergence profile to allow more space for the soft tissue. There's more research that shows we really need this space, this volume for the soft tissue to achieve stable bone level. We have included a reverse taper design. If you want to treat highly aesthetic cases with this implant, you have to be able to submerge this implant. So it's a totally redesigned tissue level implant. Let's compare it with a conventional tissue level implant. So like this wide, flaring gray emergence profile, a gray titanium abutment that comes on top of it. With the matrix, you have this narrow, beautiful, and pink emergence profile, and the zirconia goes all the way down to the titanium, to the pink titanium. We're just in love with this beautiful implant, so I just included some more pictures here. But it's also very nice to see that the users of the first 1000 matrix implant are definitely also in love with this design. We have Dr. Ivan Pev. He has placed probably 100,000 implants in his life. It was just bone-level implant. And he has placed his first tissue-level implant in his surgical career. Definitely not the first tissue-level implant has been placed by Dr. Alessandro Ionesco. He's a true pioneer in using tissue-level implants from the very first generation. In his TRI talk with the topic Back to the Future with Tissue-Level Matrix Implants, he will show us his evolution from the very beginning of using tissue-level implant with the third generation, second, third, and now this is his fourth generation tissue-level implant with matrix that he's using. So I'm very much looking forward to the TRI talk by Dr. Alessandro Ionescu. Matrix is backed up by science. We have included into the matrix concept all the technologies and the learnings from the first 10 years of TRI. We have the same surface. We have the TRI Bone Adapt, our biomechanical design of the implant for immediate placement for high primary stability. We are very proud to have research collaborations with leading universities all around the world, with the University in Sao Paulo, with the University of Groningen in Holland, with the university here in Zurich, but also with the DPU University in Austria and the LMU University in Austria. So today in the afternoon, you will already see some positive and amazing results, first results from this study. But now I'm very happy to hand over to Witold, who is the Global Product Manager for Matrix, and he will tell us a bit more about the portfolio and the digital workflow of the Matrix technology. So please welcome to the stage, Witold.
Thank you, Sandro. Visionaries, artists, and leaders, through the course of the time, we're always looking how to make complex things simple. And this is also our aim in TRI. Even the simplicity is a part of our philosophy's pillar. I'm really happy to be able to introduce you our implant and also prosthetic portfolio. But let's start from the basics. We have two prosthetic platforms, P37 and P45. These two prosthetic platforms are available on the tissue level and also on the bone level implants. If we look a little bit closer to the implant, starting from the top, on the tissue level, we have 1.8 millimeter height machined, anodized with the pink color neck. On the bone level, it's 0.5 millimeter machined, which is perfectly made for platform switching. For our body, we have used our gold standard surface, which is proven for over 10 years from our classic line. Now let's move to the components. When we were working on the Matrix project, we asked ourselves, which components are really essential to develop the Matrix, to restore the Matrix implant? And of course, the first prosthetic component which is needed to use after the implant placement is the healing collar. But do we really need a standard healing collar? We believe the standard healing collar is a good to have. It's like a backup device. Matrix is made for individualized treatments. Of course, we also need impression posts. We also need prosthetic screws. And this is it. You don't need anything more than this. Of course, you can ask me, but what about the abutments? I like my abutments, but I'm sure that only maybe one or even less of you are using stock abutments. Matrix, like I said, it's made for individualized treatment, and we are the only one implant company that gives you the opportunity to make very precise connection on your own milling machines and create your own individualized components. Our 3D Touch we have introduced in 2018. It was the world's first impression pose for the intraoral scanning and also for the open tray impressions. It has a unique feature with instrument handling, which can be used for unscrewing the impression post after the scanning. In addition, we've been listening to you, and we have introduced the short screw for limited occlusal access. Let's now go to the surgical kit. We have only one surgical kit, which is available for tissue level and also for the bone level implants. This surgical kit is exactly the same which all our existing users are using right now, and also is the same surgical kit for our Matrix users. I'm sure that our existing users, they know where the drivers are placed. If you now would like to switch to the Matrix, you have additional 2 empty slots where you can put the Matrix drivers. When we are developing our surgical kit, our aim was to create as easy as possible and reduce the amount of the components to make the workflow easy. Another innovative product is tripod. Tripod is a touchless delivery concept, which means that with your surgical handpiece or with your ratchet, you can pick up the implant and place it directly into the bone. I'm sure that many of you are using maybe 2, maybe 3, or even more implant systems from different manufacturers. And I know how it is that implant manufacturers, they always adding more and more components. And from the small product catalog, it's becoming like a big book. And of course, it's not so easy really to understand all the components that are there. And I'm sure many of you had the situation that you are in the process of the surgery, and then you forgot about some component which is needed. And of course, the best would be to call your sales rep and ask, I need this one, can you give it to me as soon as possible? But what is happening if he's not around or if he's not picking up the call? This is what also we look into Matrix. Our Matrix product prosthetic catalog, it can fit only on one double page. In addition, we also managed to reduce our product catalog by 27% comparing our classic line. I'm sure now you are wondering, how can I integrate my Matrix implant into my daily routine? That's why I would like to talk about the workflows. And I have described workflow in 5 simple steps. Of course, everything starts from implant placement. Then we take the impression, and like I mentioned, impression can be taken with intraoral scanner of open tray. Then we send this information to the dental laboratory. Dental technicians doing design. Then it's milling or 3D printing. And then there's a finalization step, and then there's a delivery back to the dentist. And this is a perfect circle. But if you remember what Sandro was saying in the beginning of the presentation, then there is a lot of different digital technology around us that we can all benefit from. And I'm sure that many of you have different intraoral scanners, lab scanners, CAD software, CAM software, milling machines, materials, and all of you created your own paths with all the different units. And now we have to think about how to integrate Matrix into this path. Then how to do it? The answer is that it's a TRI Plus. We have introduced TRI Plus in 2013. It's an open interface for digital technology. Then we were in contact with many of you, dental labs and dental clinics, to check what kind of paths you are using, which components you connected together that you are working every day. And we also connect with all of these manufacturers of these components to make sure that you can work with your Matrix from today. Unfortunately, not everyone can be on a stage today, but I have prepared for you 2 short video messages from the global world leaders in CAD/CAM industry. Let's watch it.
Hello, we are 3Shape and we are really happy to be here today. My name is Birk Plörnix and I'm Director for Implantology, Orthodontics and 3Shape Clinic Software Solutions.
And my name is Adam Stute and I'm the Product Director for Studios.
At 3Shape, we really like to innovate for superior patient care. And we are seeing more and more dentists going digital and bringing their clinic to the next level. We are strong believers in an open system architecture, and therefore we don't want to limit our customers to one single workflow, but instead we like to give them options and flexible workflows for the best clinical outcomes in their day-to-day work within the clinic, with the lab, but also with their implant partners.
And we at 3Shape like to stay at the forefront of technology and see how digital is changing dentistry. With the Matrix implant, we're very excited to see this innovative product coming to the market and being part of that journey by offering the latest solutions to our customers. We would like to congratulate TRI on today's launch of the Matrix implant. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Falco Noack, Head of R&D at Amann Girrbach.
Hi, I'm Christian Ermer. I'm responsible for global marketing, products, and the digital transformation at Amann Girrbach. Since 10 years, we're digitalizing the prosthetics workflow at the dental laboratory and dentists. We're offering a complete digital ecosystem from A to Z, from scanning to the software to the mill and the materials. And for this, we can take over the responsibility for the final restoration of this workflow. And we're very excited to cooperate with 3Implants with this groundbreaking new innovation, an implant system that is dedicated for the CAD/CAM workflow and make it part of our offering in the future.
And we at Amann Girrbach, we are very happy to have the opportunity to work together with 3Implants during the development of a Matrix implant system. This gives us the capability to develop a very smooth interface between the implant and the abutment, and that helps us to create a perfect precision during CAM milling between these difficult areas. We are very proud, meanwhile, to see the clinical cases which are created together in our systems and see the precision this is now able to produce in a direct implant-abutment connection. We wish you great success with your product, and we are very proud to be part of it.
After all of this technical information, starting from Sandro's presentation, then Raphael, and then my portfolio introduction to you, I'm sure you cannot wait to see how Matrix really works and looks in real life. And there is no one better than Holger Kast, who is going to present you the clinical cases. Holger, thank you.
In the last 9 months, we were able to place and restore already more than 1,000 Matrix implants all around Europe. And I think it's not a theory anymore, it's reality. The Matrix connection is reality. And I'm very happy and excited to share with you some chosen cases to give you a teaser in the afternoon's TRI chat talks with our key opinion leaders. So the first case I would like to share with you is about aesthetics, done by my good friend, Dr. Joel Telles from Portugal. This is the initial situation. So I think it's very visible. It's not an easy case to handle. On the left side, you can see still the root. On the right side, a very narrow bone situation. So what would you do? Would you take tissue-level implants or bone-level implants in this case? I show you how Joel did decide. He chose the Matrix tissue-level implants. And I think this X-ray shows perfectly the perfect shape of this tissue-level Matrix implants. On the left side, he chose a wide neck, 4.1 diameter of the implant. On the right side, a very narrow implant design, 3.3 diameter. The platform, 3.7, the prosthetic platform, is the same. So you can see here this reverse taper Sandro was already mentioned. And on the other side, you can see the nice concave shape to place this tissue-level implant with its pink neck a little bit deeper and totally perfectly in aesthetic zone. This is the situation after 10 weeks of healing. And how this soft tissue came to this perfect situation only after 10 weeks, I think Joel and Joao will explain in their talk together, because there's the dental technician and the dentist who have to do a team approach to reach an aesthetic result like this. I would like to focus more on the impression taking of the Matrix system. This is the 3D touch where my colleagues already explained. The 3D touch is an impression post which you can use open tray impression, silicone impression, or you can use it as a scan body. So the matrix is absolutely doable without the need of an intraoral scan, as Joel decided in this moment, because I know at that time he did not even have an intraoral scanner in his office. Now he changed, maybe due to the matrix. He has a scanner now, but this is the impression taking, and that's what you can do out of it as a dental technician. You take a model scan out of the impression, and then you are fully in the digital world. That's really showing the benefits of being fully digital. You can see in the orange part, that's the design of the emergence profile. So in the digital world, you can add a bit material, you can shrink a little bit of the material, so you can shape the aesthetic of this situation down until the implant. So there's no abutments, there is no cement, so you can go fully aesthetically in a white PMMA as temporaries in this moment. So that's the situation after 10 weeks, changing into a PMMA temporary milled by Joao in Lisboa. So this gives the time for the tissue to establish a little bit more, to grow a little bit more, to get more healthy, and it gives the time for the dental technician to easily copy one-to-one the shape he designed from the PMA temporary to the shape of the final restoration. So this is the final restoration in designing process, a zirconia monolithic design with a cutback technique. So you just can take away a little bit of the veneering area, and then the dental technician can do his magic and create a high aesthetic situation out of this. And this looks like this. I think more about this case, the two, Joel and Joao, will talk about in their TRI talk about the team approach, the importance to work with a dental technician very closely together as a dentist makes aesthetic look like this. The next topic, quality. This is the initial situation done by Dr. Alexandro Onesco. And I personally call Alex always the godfather of the tissue level implants from TRI, the pink tissue level implants, because he was 2014 the first dentist who placed the pink tissue level implant, our Octa tissue level implant. And we gave him the chance to also place the first matrix tissue level implant. And this case, I think it shows really nicely his way of placing implants, minimal invasive, flapless situations is really his goals. And here you can see that's the tissue level matrix implant placed. And I really like this picture because it shows the adaptation of this pink anodized shoulder into the aesthetic of the tissue. And that stage, he took an intraoral scan. So not an impression taking, so with an intraoral scanner, taking this situation and sent this data to his dental laboratory, which is in that moment, it is the dental technician is in-house, and he designed from the copy of the extracted teeth a one-to-one example of a healing color, which you can see here underneath this pink mesh. You can see the cutted occlusal height of this individualized, personalized healing color that looks like this in the mouth. So it's the exact copy of the shape of the extracted teeth. So this is biologic in its full magic. And I think this is really great in the matrix system, what you can do in a digital workflow. And so due to the fact in this moment, he had to send this to mill this in a milling center. So that takes maybe 24 hours. But after 24 hours, the milling center gives you back an individualized healing color, like you see it here, and you can replace that in the patient's mouth, and then you can let grow the tissue really anatomically. The next thing, and again, a copy of the emergence profile to create a full aesthetic, high quality monolithic crown. And I think you see here the perfect fitting of the matrix connection. You can see another big topic, an angulated screw channel. So the X of the screw channel of the implant was bended a little bit out of the aesthetic zone to have a full aesthetic outcome of this crown. And the X-ray here shows really two implants. Actually, on the right side, you can see a 7-year-old follow-up of the Octa tissue level implant. And on the left side, you can see the Tesla. This is the TRI tissue level implant in its nicely fitting version. So you see in the X-ray the perfect fit of this crown. Let me continue with simplicity. So simplicity, I think the case before already showed a lot of the simplicity with these copying techniques and so on. And also this case done by Dr. Ramon Gomez Meda from Spain. He had a little bit a same situation like the cases before. A minimal invasive treatment, this time with a guided template, a tissue level implant, matrix tissue level implant again, placed, and after placing, directly doing an impression, an intraoral digital impression, and send this to the in-house laboratory. So this gives the time for Ramon to decide and work on his big tissue graft in this moment. And the dental technician in-house has an Amann Gierbach milling machine, a chairside milling machine. So that means half an hour later, when the tissue graft is done, the dentist was able to place a full anatomic aesthetic PMMA white temporary crown. And I think this shows the simplicity really nicely, because in a 1.5 to 2 hours time, the patient was able to go home and smile again with a beautiful crown on top of his fresh placed implant. Let me continue with the last case, talking about immediacy. So that was already fast, like 2 hours, to place a full restoration. Now we go to Dr. Ivan Pev. Dr. Ivan Pev and us were treating this case. This is a full arch case, 20 years of no teeth in the upper jaw, edentulous, 20 years long. And we, Sandro and Rafael and me, we had the chance to join this operation with Dr. Ivan Pev. And we started at 9 o'clock in the morning with this situation. Ivan placed 6 bone-level matrix implants in the upper jaw. And in a typical all-on-4 case, he placed 4 bone-level implants in the lower jaw with this massive angulation, which is typical for all-on-4 technique, 45 degrees angulation. So that was the situation, let's say, at 12 o'clock. Then he did the suturing and did an intraoral scan of the upper jaw and the lower jaw, fully digital scanning with the 3D touch impression post. And that gave us the time to take a break. We went to lunch, and the patient, who had quite a huge operation behind himself, he could take a relaxing time on the chair and calm down a little bit. And the dental technicians started to make their magic digitally. So they created an upper and a lower jaw full arch PMMA restoration, designed everything absolutely individual for this patient. You see in the distal area again a very angulated implant. There's no need to add an abutment to equalize these angulated placed implants. And they created us in between 1.5 hours lunch break, a full arch upper and lower jaw. And this picture I took myself, and I couldn't believe it myself, because I did the typical Sheffield test, and I checked the fitting on this 3D printed model in this case, and I saw just the perfection of this fitting situation in this moment. And that tells me that in the future, even the simplicity will go further, because I'm very sure in the future we not even need a model for a full arch restoration, as you can see it here. So the dental technician took his time a little bit more and did his magic, individualizing the tissue a little bit. And after more than 20 years, this patient got screw retained really aesthetically temporaries, full arch temporaries in one session. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we could send the patient home. And I think this is the absolutely perfection of simplicity and also immediacy. 4 weeks later, that was the picture we got sent by Ivan Paves. And I think this makes me happy, this smile makes me happy, this healthy this healthy patient seeing after 4 weeks smiling, being happy, and you can see we get him into the matrix. So all these implants got placed 9 months long, 1,000 implants. So it's clear we wanted to get a feedback from our key opinion leaders who placed these so far 1,000 implants. And I think also this feedback we got, we asked them several questions, is just amazing to share with you. So look, from 5 reachable stars, we get 4.8 stars.